Hello, I'm Gareth Jones. Welcome to our Huddersfield preview, a video we put up every Friday ahead of a weekend game. For me, casuals on a Friday mean one of two things. Either we're doing an outside broadcast later on in the day, or we have a very long trip ahead of us. It is the latter, and boy, Paul Ogden, what a long trip it is. Bournemouth, we're going to have our live show from there tomorrow from Dean Court, 774 AM and DAB Digital Radio. Paul Ogden, Kieran O'Regan and myself making the long journey down there. Please join us if you aren't from 2 o'clock on BBC Radio Leeds for our full match commentary and our dedicated Huddersfield Town build-up. I suppose the question is, Oggy, how are we all feeling about Huddersfield Town going into this game, considering what happened against Wolves? Because that performance, that result, has really split opinion with the Town fans.
It has. Many people look at the result itself and the slackness of the defending in particular and become worried again about what's going to happen in the final third of the season. But I also have some sympathy with those who point to Town's good patches in the game. They didn't last long enough, but Town did play some good stuff. But for a good performance by the Wolves keeper, Kuszczak, maybe they would have got on the scoreboard a bit more. And that's what gives us hope against a team with similar talents, Bournemouth, much more of it as well. They've scored 58 points in their 30 games. They were top until Tuesday since mid-December and are real candidates for automatic promotion. So, yeah, it depends which side of the fence you come down on. You may be very pessimistic about going to face Bournemouth tomorrow, but Town have recently come up with some very good moments. Great against Millwall and Wigan away in recent away trips.
The last 8 games for Huddersfield Town has gone win-loss, and so on. So it's guaranteed that this is going to be a win following that pattern. I suppose it's not just about the inconsistency of results, it's the inconsistency of the performances. And you're right, there were good moments against Wolves. I thought it was a harsh scoreline. But as Chris Powell said, they lack the same intensity, same energy, same desire, same thinking capacity and an attacking form. Why is it they just can't consistently produce performances, let alone results?
You need a different level of standard of performance according to the opponents in this division, Gaz. We discussed this after the game on Tuesday night, and I still think it's a very relevant debate, in that the gulf between the bottom end of the Championship table and the top end is quite big now. It's bigger than it's ever been in my book from what we've seen this season so far. And what Town seem to be struggling with is the adjustment of their minimum standard. You have to grind results out against Wigan and Millwall, but in some departments that's good enough. The determination and the spirit got them through, certainly against Millwall last Saturday. That alone will not get you through against a team that thinks so quickly, as Wolves did on Tuesday night, and has got pace, physical pace like Dicko, Afobe, and all the other players that damaged Town. I'm afraid Bournemouth fall into that category as well, but Chris Powell will be asking his players to up their game to a different level just to be able to compete with Bournemouth. They must have a flaw. Leeds United have beaten Bournemouth twice this season. Nottingham Forest went to Bournemouth and won. Norwich won down there, and they haven't had a perfect season. So there is something in Bournemouth that you can get at. Chris Powell's job is to find it and to motivate his players to do it and deliver it.
So will he make changes to try and do that? Who could be back?
Yeah, I think so. Nahki Wells will come back, I think. I liked Ishmael Miller's performance. I think he did all he could. Service wasn't great. Wolves won the midfield battle quite comfortably in the end on Tuesday. I can see Wells and Vaughan being partnered again and Miller being brought on as an impact player. If Jonathan Hogg is available and fit, he'll go in. I'm sure about that. Whether he's fit or not, we'll have to judge that at 2 o'clock. But I think Jonathan Hogg has been missed. David Edgar has deputised in certain ways, but not in others. And I think if he can have his 3-man core midfield, Cody, Butterfield, Hogg, he'll need to put them in against the fluidity and creativity of Bournemouth.
Powell says he expects Hogg to be back in the team. Lynch is still out. Could you see Edgar going back to centre-back after that defence leaked 4, or will he just stick to that 4 due to lack of options?
Well, David Edgar was a sub on Tuesday night, of course. Edgar had some good moments and played a very important role at the beginning of the match against Millwall last Saturday. But I still don't really think that Edgar wants to play in defence. And I think Chris Powell would prefer him as a deputy off the bench for Jonathan Hogg. So if Edgar plays, it probably means there's an injury that we are going to find out about before kick-off in defence. I expect David Edgar to be on the bench, but I could be wrong. If Hogg's fit, he'll play. I like David Edgar, and I think he's been brought in for good reasons, but he seems to be a backup option in Chris Powell's mind after what we've seen in his first 2 or 3 performances.
Oggy, thank you for the time being, and thank you as always watching our preview videos, which we put up every Friday on our Facebook page and also YouTube. So join us on Saturday from 2 o'clock. Paul Ogden, Kieran O'Regan, myself, Gareth Jones. Our dedicated Huddersfield Town build-up to the match at Bournemouth, followed by exclusive commentary at 3 o'clock. Find us on 774am and DAB Digital Radio. In the meantime, tweet us your predictions, tweet us your team changes to @WYSDaily.